Welcome to CCK Live. I'm Nicholas Briggs and an accredited claims agent here at Chisholm, and Kilpatrick, and I'm joined by fellow accredited agents Bethany Cook and Kayla D'Onofrio. Today we'll be discussing VA benefits for widows, survivors, and dependents of Agent Orange exposed veterans. So before we get started, I just want to provide a brief overview of what Agent Orange is and how it relates to a veteran's military service. Agent Orange is an herbicide mixture that was used extensively to deforest large areas of the environment during the Vietnam War era. Agent Orange created the highly toxic dioxin contaminant known as 2,3,7,8 tetrachlorodibenzo P-dioxin, or TCDD for short, as a byproduct. This specific dioxin takes years to break down once it's been released into the environment, and it can cause many adverse health effects, both immediately and many years later. Agent Orange, again with the contaminant TCDD, was used widely throughout Vietnam during the Vietnam War era. However, the use of Agent Orange and other such herbicides was not exclusive to Vietnam. It was used in many other areas, including Thailand, Korea, so on and so forth. So it was used in many of the surrounding countries and areas in Vietnam, as well as some places in the United States. So with that in mind, Bethany, can you tell us a bit more about how VA benefits for Agent Orange exposed veterans have changed recently?
Sure. So recently, the Congress passed the Honoring Our PACT Act, which was signed into law by President Biden. So this created a presumption of service connection for additional diseases due to Agent Orange exposure, and it also expanded the presumption of exposure to herbicides like Agent Orange to other areas. For service members with active military, naval, air, or space service in those locations. So like Nick said, while VA already presumed exposures to veterans who served in Vietnam, as well as veterans who could prove service in the Korean demilitarized zone, the PACT Act expanded the presumption to veterans who served in Thailand, Laos, Cambodia, Guam, and the Johnson Atoll base during certain timeframes. So you can find the specific timeframes on VA's website, and you can also find a full list of conditions presumed due to exposure, as well as the new conditions that the PACT Act added on VA's website. And you can also take a look. CCK recently did a couple videos on the additional benefits resulting from the PACT Act. But this act was great news. It expanded VA benefits to thousands of additional Vietnam War era veterans.
Great. Thanks, Bethany. So with that in mind, we've talked a bit about who these Vietnam War era veterans are, who might have been exposed to Agent Orange during their military service. Kayla, can you tell us a bit about the benefits that are available to the surviving spouses and dependents of these veterans?
Sure. So VA does offer certain benefits such as compensation or healthcare benefits to surviving spouses and dependents, including dependent children or parents of veterans who passed away as a result of diseases that may be related to their Agent Orange exposure. One of those benefits is called Dependency and Indemnity Compensation, which is more often referred to as DIC. This is a monthly benefit that's awarded to surviving spouses or dependent children or parents of a service member who's died in action or died from a service-connected condition. So the surviving spouse or dependent children or parents of a veteran who was exposed to Agent Orange and developed a disease that contributed to their death as a result of that exposure may be eligible for this compensation. Same-sex spouses of military veterans are also afforded the same beneficiary rights as those of heterosexual military veterans. As long as you're legally married and a military couple of any orientation can apply to collect these federal benefits. You just have to show proof of a legal marriage. This form of compensation is entirely separate from the disability benefits that the veteran may have been receiving while they were alive if they did have service-connected conditions. VA disability benefits that a veteran may have been receiving will be discontinued at the time of their passing. So this is completely separate from anything that the veteran had. As of December 1st, 2021, the current DIC rate is $1,437.66. And under the PACT Act, survivors and dependents can file a claim for DIC benefits effective immediately, and these benefits can apply retroactively for DIC claimants. Another benefit that might be available are VA accrued benefits. These are benefits for if a veteran had a claim that was still pending at the time of his or her passing, meaning they had an active claim or appeal, or they had a decision that the time to appeal had not expired before they passed away. The surviving spouse may be substituted into the pending claim as the claimant, and they can sort of take over the appeals process from there. If service connection or an increased rating is later awarded, the surviving spouse will receive VA accrued benefits. And what this means is they will receive a retroactive payment that the veteran would have received if they were alive. This payment is calculated from the effective date of the benefit granted up until the point of the veteran's death. It's not a monthly payment. It's just sort of a lump sum payment that you would receive for retroactive benefits.
Perfect. Thanks, Kayla. So in addition to these financial benefits that Kayla covered for us, there are some additional benefits available to both surviving spouses and the children of veterans as well. So if a veteran who passes away from an Agent Orange related disability, their surviving spouses and children may be entitled to medical health care benefits under the Civilian Health Medical Program of the Department of Veterans Affairs. For short, this is called CHAMP VA. And like I said, CHAMP VA is a health benefits program where VA shares the cost of certain healthcare services and supplies with eligible beneficiaries. So they're not going to cover everything, but they will share that cost. And the CHAMP VA program typically covers services including pharmacy, medical equipment, family planning and maternity, mental health care, and more. In addition to the healthcare benefits themselves, some additional benefits for survivors might include dependents' educational assistance, home loan benefits, veterans' burial allowance, dealing with reimbursement for the cost of the veteran's funeral, and many other benefits may be available to surviving spouses and their children. We've covered this on our blog before, so feel free to visit our website for more information about what benefits might be available to you if your spouse passed away from an Agent Orange related condition. So that basically covers all the types of benefits available to these veterans and their families, but we haven't actually covered how we apply for these benefits. So Bethany, can you tell us a bit about how the process works?
Sure. So the primary form that you're going to use to apply for these benefits is the VA Form 21P-534EZ, otherwise known as the Application for DIC, Death Pension, and or Accrued Benefits form. So this is the official application that you will use to submit a claim for these benefits. Although there are, for some benefits, additional forms that you might also have to file with the VA Form 534. So definitely, before you actually do submit this to the VA, make sure to check their website to make sure that you can fill out all of the necessary forms for the benefit that you're applying for. Besides the form, you're going to have to submit additional documentation. So the primary documentation that you're going to have to submit is proof of your relationship or your dependent's relationship to the veteran. So this evidence could include marriage certificates, divorce certificates, death certificates, birth certificates, and more. So again, it's very important to verify that you're submitting all of the required documentation, which you can find listed on VA's website.
Thanks, Bethany, and thanks, Kayla, for all of that helpful information. And thank you all for tuning in with us today. Please be sure to check out our blog and our other videos for more information about different topics that we've discussed. And please don't forget to follow us on social and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.